This is a big one. Hunter Brody. We are the official Flyer show on WIP. And to prove it, every week we have Flyers in 50 with Hunter Brody. Brodes. What's up, Brodes?
No sharp tongue for me today, all right? There's a lot of business to take care of. I have a lot of things to say about that stupid remark that was just made, but I'll keep it in the back pocket.
Our remark? Oh, okay. Well, let me ask you this, Brodes, because I want you to set this up properly, and I'm going to let you cook a little bit here. The question is, do we play the Tortorella quote before Flyers in 50 and then have Brodes react to it? Or Brodes, do you want it within the thing? Do you want to say, Jack, give me the sound or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know. I think once I hear it, I'm going to punch a hole in the wall. So if you want to play it,
play it.
Okay.
Play it.
It's my job to prepare this team in this type of situation. Haven't done a good enough job past couple of games.
These last two games, are you sensing frustration setting in? Maybe it's a cumulative effect from last week playing well and not getting results?
Well, when you're in this type of situation and you're losing all the time and there's nothing at the end of the tunnel for you, there's certainly going to be some frustration. But this falls on me. I'm not really interested in learning how to coach this type of season where we're at right now. But I have to do a better job. So this falls on me, getting the team prepared to play the proper way until we get to the end.
Flyers in 50 with Hunter Brody.
What the hell are you talking about, Darts? You know what you signed up for. What did you sign up for at the start of the season? This was going to be a rebuild. This was always going to take time. You were going to lose games every night. Dropping to Chicago 7-4, losing to Toronto 7-2. That was in the cards as we try and get premier talent in this league. And he stands up there and goes, guess what? I got no interest in this. Are you serious? What are you, Doc Rivers? Hey, I won 3 games. I don't get credit for that. When you need 4 to close out a series, it's embarrassing. And quite frankly, I do think it deserves to pretty much fire his ass so we can get some real life in here, because that's a joke. You're benching Cam York. You're benching Mitch Koff. Sean Couturier's playing fourth line minutes at times. What is the purpose of this season? The fact that he doesn't know is a problem, considering this is supposed to be a game plan that from top to bottom has structure. But I don't think he sees it the same way Danny and Jonesy sees it. Definitely not after those damn remarks. So what are the Flyers actually getting accomplished here? I don't know. And quite frankly, it is pissing me off that we don't see something at the end of the tunnel here. Yeah, there's draft picks. That's great, there's draft picks. But if he doesn't want to coach this type of season, was this season just ready to get thrown out in the trash and there was no growing and there was nothing that was actually getting accomplished over the 82 games? Do we just waste a season of Mitch Kopp and Forster? Hey, I don't want to do anything with this. I don't really know what to do here. Then why are you here, Torts? Then what is your job and your duty when you show up to Voorhees every single damn day? Did I miss the buzzer?
Yeah, no. We just let you cook. We're just letting you cook.
Oh, okay.
Man. Yeah.
I'm sweating.
Well,
I'm sweating.
Let me ask you this, Brodes, because it actually reminds me a little bit of when Doug Collins said that he had basically quit 3 months prior, and that he ran through his shoes, blah 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 blah. Not to bring up the beginning of the Sixers thing, the process thing, but in hiring Brett Brown, they purposely hired a coach who knew what the job was, who knew that they were going to lose, and knew his job was to get the young players better. How much of this falls on the organization, falls on Briere in putting a coach who probably isn't the right kind of coach to be in there? Obviously, Torts is the wrong coach for this, but how much goes on the organization for putting the wrong coach in that situation?
Yeah, I think it's a fair question for sure. And here's my issue with it. I do think Torts brings a lot that is valuable, like even in the beginning stages and whatnot. But you just if you're going that route, you got to thread the needle with it, right? You got to pick and choose when it's time to continue with it and when it's time maybe to snip it, because he does bring value when it comes to work ethic, how to show up every day. He's always going to be on you, so you have to compete or else you're not going to play. And you do need to put that into these young guys, but you you got to play with that line with him, because the second that runs its course and it no longer hits home, it gets nasty and ugly. And I think we're seeing that right now. So I didn't mind the idea of it early, but I just think it ran its course, and maybe they held on to this Tortorella thing way too long. And truth be told, maybe the whole wear and tear thing. Last season, they collapsed towards the end. This year, it seems like we're following that similar trend. So, maybe me saying that it was worth it to some level is unfair, because he just wears these guys down so much that they got nothing left to give once we hit this time of the year 2 years in a row.
Yeah, that's always been my concern with him. He seems to have the reputation of great in the beginning, but he usually wears thin on his players. Not that anybody cares, but the media that's covering him, the fans that follow the team, and then ultimately the organization. And that's where I'm at right now. I think we're at that final stage right now, Brodes, and I'm wondering the organization from Keith's position, Danny Briere's position. I'm wondering, do they feel like this is beneficial to this youth movement that they're trying to make, as well as bringing in other guys? Hell, we may have lost a high draft pick because a guy didn't want to play here. Who knows what that reason was for, but I don't know. I'm wondering if moving forward, is this, having Torts here as the head coach, beneficial for these young players' growth and this organization moving forward? He's gotten us to this point. Now, is it maybe just time for a new voice?
I think so. And I was actually listening to Rob Ellis and Sealski on Saturday, and they had on Jonesy, and he said, look, there are times where I really don't see, well, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but when Torts makes a decision with a certain player, maybe Jonesy doesn't really necessarily agree with it at the time, but then he sees how maybe Mitch Koff responds, and he has a couple of goals after he gets benched or whatever. I'm just kind of speaking out loud about it, but, that just goes to show that there are some times where maybe the higher-ups go, hey, maybe that's not the card I would pull, or hey, I don't know if that's really necessarily the right route. So maybe they do think of that at this particular point. And yeah, I think it did kind of run its course at this point. Now, here's the one thing that could have possibly happened with Torts with that response. And because they're getting blown out by bad teams like Chicago, was there possibly a calculated statement made by Torts to put all the blame on him and less about the players who just got shelled and annihilated by some of these teams? So instead of talking about Cam York, who had a bad performance, or the goaltending that's been awful, now here we are ripping Torts, and he took all the blame and all the shots.
Well, yeah. I have no problem with him saying I have to do a better job. It's the one line, which may have been the true line in all of it, by the way, is I have no interest in coaching a team like this year. That is the line that kills me. I have to do a better job. I haven't done enough good, but all good.
Coach speak.
But all right. All takes pressure off the players. But saying I don't want to be here doing this when, when you're coaching a team like this, and the team continues to lose, your biggest job is making sure that the players, every time they go out there, are going out there with the hunger to continue to get better, even try to win games, but ultimately understand that there might be a bigger goal in mind, all of those things. And when he says, well, I don't want to coach a team like this, that if he can't do it, then I don't know how he can get other people to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like that line sounded like the one honest line in the entire thing he said. Do you think, if you had a bet right now, do you think they fire him?
I think after that, yes. Now, if you asked me before this answer, I'd probably lean no. But how can you bounce back from that? How can you bounce back from, I'm not interested in learning how to coach this type of season, when next year, let's be honest, fellas, they're probably going to stink again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's where they are.
This was fun. This was hockey talk.
Yeah, you like this?
This wasn't no BS. Let's just be sarcastic. This was dump and chase.
Yeah.
Wow, when there's important business. Yeah, this is important.
There's always important. I could talk about Cole Caulfield and how they messed up in the draft.
I actually want to give credit. I want to give credit to us. We hung in there with it. We did a pretty good job, I thought.
You did. I got to be honest with you. You did.